The fine art of communication is a resource that yields dividends year after year after year. First, a comforting exchange between two individuals, and long thereafter, a pleasant memory. We here at the Literary Talk Show believe in the art of communication.
This is the Literary Cafe Talk Show. I'd like to welcome Alan, our only viewer. Our host, Chad Stanley, will interview also on the show, Linda Baldizzi, Ballroom Johnson as Joe, Herb as Herb, Tim Herron, Ronald Peltron as Andy Timithy, and Circus Interruptus. And now for a culinary moment.
Get a shot of the toilet next time.
Okay, I've got a burger here with a nice big tomato on it. I'm going to take the tomato off because I can't stand it. And then put ketchup on it. I am not even going to comment on that. Just start the show.
Very tough stuff. You know, speaking of tough stuff, our next guest right here is pretty tough himself. We're kind of on a public service bent here tonight. We're just absorbed with serving Cleveland and making lives better for you, the listeners back home. This next gentleman is going to tell us everything we need to know to talk your way out of a ticket from the police, as well as proper etiquette in ordering a pizza. Please welcome the one and only Klyde Q. Kirkendahl.
Hello. Yeah. Hey there, Chad. This is my kind of music.
Klyde, it's great to have you on the show.
Likewise, Chad.
Clyde,
Where'd my beer go?
Oh, your beer's over here, but we'll have to leave that sit for a while. Linda's very concerned about her Oriental rug, so we'll have to let that beer sit for a little bit. Now, Klyde, we didn't bring you up here to shoot the cuckoo. We brought you up here to discuss brass tacks.
Brass tacks.
That's right. Well, let's. What would you like to start off with first? The whole issue of police, or the whole issue of pizza?
Well, actually, fact is, if you've ever been out in Lakewood, you can't drive 10 blocks without seeing at least 2 or 3 police cars. And if you're one unlucky SOB and you get pulled over for a sobriety check, well, I don't know that you can beat it. But I'll tell you this, you can make their lives hell. Here's how.
Okay, what would you suggest to the folks listening at home? Some of you that are watching this program right now are going to be driving through those very regions. So listen up. Klyde here is going to tell you what you need to do to avoid the cops. And if you don't avoid them, how to talk your way out of a ticket. Take it away, Klyde.
Well, actually, Chad, I'm not sure that you can even talk your way out, really. But if an annoyance is inevitable, you might as well learn to have fun with it. For example, you get pulled over by the police, and he asks,
"May I see your driver's license, sir?"
Well, you just talk to him in CB lingo. For example, he says, he says,
"Can I see your license, sir?"
You say, "Well, that's a big 10-4, good Bubba."
And that works for you?
Well, it works for me as far as making their life hell. But now here's the kicker. When they start getting down on you and they say, step up, they say, step out of the car, please. You say, well, that's a big 6'9" there, good Bubba. If you know what I mean.
Big 6'9". I bet this is you've culled this information through years of careful, methodical research.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yep. I grew up in Anniston, Alabama, home of beer-bellied Bubbas, chain gangs, gang bangs, and everything else you can think of.
So basically, like most cops out there, some of them may be watching right now, they love it when you show a little sense of humor. Joke around with them, pal around with them. Cops are people too.
Yeah, well, here's another thing you can say. Let's see. Yeah, if you're fortunate enough and they decide that they gonna let you go, you say, remember, officer, we never had this conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I like them there other sounds what you was using on the other show there, Bubba.
Do you find that, what makes the most impact doing that? Would you try some of that on a Lakewood cop, a Cleveland cop, or a state police officer? Where would you get more bang for your buck?
Well, more bang for your buck? A low-budget hooker, personally.
That's pretty good. All right, let's jump over to pizza right now, if we can.
Well, actually, this is stuff what was done for pizza, but I readapted it for the police, actually. That's the whole thing.
Oh, I see.
Now, like, when they say,
How many drinks have you had?
well, instead of just telling them I had 10 or whatever, you spell it out.
How do you do that?
Well, he says, well, I've had this many. And then give it to them in fractal patterns in the form of an equation.
Oh, they like that. You mean like, I had the square root of 25 beers. Wow. Oh, they love it when you do that. They do that. Well, okay, enough about the police. Enough about the police. We've offended enough of them already. Now.
Good evening. I'm Andy Timithy.
And I'm Linda Baldizzi. Welcome to
Decision 98.
The Quest for Mayor.
The mayoral race between Joe and Herb is entering its third week, with both campaigns in high gear. Let's take a look at the first 2 critical weeks of this campaign.
The Herb campaign was quick out of the gate, gaining early momentum. The slogan, "Pleasure for all," electrified voters.
These campaign drums. 15-inch roller. It's a little handout. Handout to supermarket.
Okay.
Not ruler. Notice there's 15 inches there, or is that an 18 inch? Yeah, you got a few extra inches.
Joe is falling behind big time.
He is. You know what they say? The first person to have their posters up.
Herb, hard on the campaign trail, promising pleasure, popped into an early lead.
Herb's opening thrust went unanswered for almost 1 week, leading some voters to think that Joe had pooped out.
Herb is a wonderful man. He's a committed man, and I believe he's committed for Tremont. Heck, I'd even grow a beard for Herb.
But even at this point, there were still hardcore Joe supporters.
What is this old school method? Do you want to crack it on the whip? Is he trying to like do some put us in line? What's he all about here with the ruler? What's he trying to say? What's he trying to imply, Mr. Dominatrix? I don't know. Go for Joe.
Herb's campaign, however, made a crucial mistake by not showing up at last Saturday's debate.
That's right. Joe, with all the media focused solely on him, let the world know that he was still in the race.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice to my immediate left is an empty microphone, reserved previously for Herb, my opponent, who decided he wasn't man enough to show up today. We were supposed to debate tonight. I showed up with a painful back due to my blue-collar background. The questions have dissipated just as Herb's candidacy seems to be. My platform is the issues. I know he's trying to make this a sleaze campaign, but I just want to talk about the issues.
Joe then answered questions from the media. It was all pretty routine until he ignited the crowd with what many think is the centerpiece of his campaign.
Just don't punk me in my own crib, Herb.
It's very unfortunate Herb missed the debate, as he's very articulate on the issues.
That's right.
His absence has brought this election to a dead heat. Let's take a look at the numbers from our exit poll.
Going into week 3, I'd give Joe the edge based on the debate debacle.
Yes, but Herb's campaign, Pleasure for All, hasn't gone into high schmooze yet.
I'm Andy Timithy.
And I'm Linda Baldizzi.
This has been Decision 98.
The quest for mayor.
About the police. Enough about the police. We've offended enough of them already. Now let's. Now here you are.
Accomplished our objective.
Okay, exactly. Now you're standing in line at your favorite pizzeria. It doesn't matter what pizzeria it is. Anything from a Pizza Hut to an Antonio's Pizza. You're standing in line, and now the moment is at hand. You walk up to the counter, and the guy says, "Can I take your order, sir?" What do you say? Klyde Q. Kirkendahl.
Well, I'd say I'll have 52 pepperoni slices prepared in a fractal pattern as follows from an equation you are about to dictate. Well, then what I'm about to dictate, actually.
And what do they say?
Well, let's see. Well, you can say stuff like, if, let's see, you say, "Okay, that'll be $10.99. Please pull up to the first window."
Oh, they like it when you do that.
Yeah, they sure do. Well, no, they don't like it, but it's having fun.
Do any of these tips work with like ethnic restaurants, like a gyro stand or something like that?
Well, you know, the wonderful thing about this, Chad, is that this can work anytime, anywhere, under any circumstances. And you, too, can have the new Klyde Q. Kirkendahl home study course for how to handle the public. For just $10.99.
Oh, that's available commercially.
Well, it's not available in stores is what the problem is.
Oh, I see.
You can get it through this show.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've gotten a lot of hot tips here tonight, and I hope that all of you here at the bar have been taking notes. I know you folks at home have been doing that. Please welcome and please escort this gentleman out of the building, Klyde Q. Kirkendahl. Oh my, Klyde Q. Kirkendahl. How about that?
With every Olympics, the sport of figure skating becomes more popular. In order to keep people interested, skaters will have to do increasingly more difficult routines. Let's take a look into the future to see what skaters might have to do to impress the judges. A dodecahedron sow cow.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. What a joy.
Oh, beautiful.
What a magnificent moment
She
for
is
them.
absolutely brilliant. She just takes your breath away.
The short, oh, now that was exquisite. From where I'm sitting, the angle was absolutely perfect.
Oh, nice
Again,
flip.
perfect landing position, straight up and down. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. What a joy. Cause I love and I live.
The brain of Tim Herron. Hello, I'm the brain of Tim Herron, and you've probably all wondered how Tim transforms a blank page into a complete drawing. Well, let me explain what the three elements are, when combined, equal a complete drawing by Tim Herron. Element number 1. Do not piss off the bartender. Element number 2. Think about the Playboy channel. Element number 3.
Penny, don't!
Watch
Don't,
Lost
please,
in
you've got to
Space
resist it.
while drawing.
Oh, I'm trying, but it's so hard not to. Penny, if you don't resist it, we'll never get out of here.
We're waiting for you in cubicle Z7, Will.
We're waiting for you in cubicle Z8, Penny. I'm not going. Neither am I.
That's all you need to know.
The things I do, you'd never try. What I get free.
Good evening and welcome. We are the Literary Talk Show. I'm your pal, Chad Stanley. It's my privilege right now to welcome my next guest, the one and only Larry Reynolds, to the stage. Well, I just want to say, Larry, it is a privilege having you on the show. I have the opportunity, leading the busy schedule that I have as Chad Stanley, the host of the Literary Talk Show. I don't have the opportunity to, do a pre-interview of the guests. I just don't.
Well, I just flew into town, for the IX Center, the Home and Garden Show.
There you go. And many times I come in here to do the award-winning Literary Talk Show, and I ask Andy, I say, Andy, what's up? He goes, not much, what can I get you? And I go, I'm not here to drink, I'm here to talk about the talk show. And then he tells me, well, I've got some big guests lined up, and he told me that he had the twin brother of Burt, the identical twin brother of Burt Reynolds, and there there you have it, Larry Reynolds. Now, I'm a trusting man. I'm an easygoing guy. I think you'll find that out.
I've watched your show many times, and I think I know that about you.
I didn't know you had cable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you don't, well, let's be frank, you don't particularly look like Burt Reynolds. You, my God, I mean, that is real hair.
Well, I guess I should make this clear. I've had to explain this once or twice before.
Please,
you
indulge
know,
us.
My brother Burt was in a really bad spelunking accident about 30, 40 years ago. And he got really tore up by a bunch of bats. And he had to get reconstructive surgery. Basically, he would look like me, you know.
So this was obviously early in his career.
Very, very early.
Probably prior to
He was
his
doing
career.
Twilight Zone back then, yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, let's assume for the sake of argument that you are indeed Burt Reynolds' identical twin brother. Burt lives the life of Riley. He's jetting across the globe, bedding down attractive, sexy women. I mean, he's living James Bondian existence, if you will. Now, you, on the other hand, my lord, I mean, what have you been up to?
Well, you know, I'm doing a personal appearance at the Home and Garden Show this weekend.
See?
At the IX Center, you know. No one's... Are you doubting me?
Oh, yes! Well, again, Larry, it's hard for me to believe that you are indeed the identical twin brother. I guess it's just the media. The media has corrupted me and most of the audience here. It's difficult for us to accept anything at face value. Am I correct or am I correct? Wow! Thank you.
What do you think?
Well, you do have a few fans over there.
Yeah, you know.
Now, Larry, indeed, if you are Larry Reynolds, tell me a little bit something about what you do at the IX Center. I mean, do you just sit in a little cubicle and
yeah, with
sign?
a bunch of flowers around me, I shake hands, and, you know, people go, "You look just like Burt Reynolds had he not gotten in a spelunking accident." I've also kind of advised him through his career, by the way. You know.
Yes.
Yes.
You advised him to do Sharky's Revenge?
Yes, and Deliverance. I also advised him to do H.R. Puffin stuff. That was him in the suit, you know.
It was?
Yeah.
Wow! We're a lot of information thus far in this show, and we might have to do some editing. It's just too much, I think, for one sitting. Well, again, let me point it to you this way. If indeed you are Burt Reynolds' identical twin brother, and Burt goes off after reconstructive surgery to become a megastar, you must have felt a little bit of anger, resentment. A little bit of that, you know, damn it, that could have been me up there.
No, not really, not really.
No?
I don't need that.
So what have you been doing for the last 20, 30 years?
Let's say I was selling hot dogs for a while. That was really good. That was good. And, you know, like I said, I've been doing the circuit, doing the Home and Garden shows, the sportsman shows, that kind of stuff.
Okay,
you know.
buddy.
Yeah?
If you're so dialed in to Burt, your twin brother, tell me, what's the scoop on Lonnie and Burt?
Well,
for the
that's
record.
all history. I mean, everything you've been reading in the Sun and, you know, in the World Weekly News, that's all true. That's all true. That's definitely all true right now. He is carrying a torch for Martha Ray, though.
Martha Ray?
Yeah. Oh, you guys didn't know?
My God, you must have some inside information. I didn't think anyone knew that.
You didn't know?
Well, I knew, but not many people do.
Him and Martha Ray were an idol. I guess it was kept under wraps pretty well, but Burt was pretty violent. You know, he's really violent. Let's just say it was pretty much Burt's responsibility, the fact that she needed those false teeth, you know.
I see. So this is quite of a departure for Burt. Here you have this platinum-headed goddess, Miss WKRP herself, and now it's Martha Ray.
Well, he has an image to keep, you know. He's a real human being. He knows what he wants, you know. And it definitely wasn't Lonnie, you know. He had to keep that image going, you know. It kept his face and his naked body on the cover of the Enquirer every now and then, you know, just to be seen with Lonnie.
You know, Larry, I don't know what it is, but somehow deep down, I want to believe you. I want to believe you, and I don't know why. It's probably because, damn it, Smokey and the Bandit is one of my favorite movies. And I think I speak for most people here when I say that. Am I correct?
It's a fine movie.
I believe it was the pinnacle of his career. Not to say that Sharky's Revenge was a dip in the curve, as it were. But
I think it was a shame it was never nominated for Academy Award either.
What was that film that he did where they were in that madcap, wacky race with all these other actors? Do you know that one? Well, not the Gumball Rally, but something like that, where they're racing across the United States. Cannonball Run.
Well, he wasn't in that, was he?
I thought he was.
No.
Wasn't he in the ambulance with Dom DeLuise?
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Now, what's the deal with
no,
him?
that was Mama Jugs in Speed.
Oh, we're getting confused here. What's the deal with your brother Bert and Dom DeLuise?
Hey,
They seem a little too chummy.
I mean,
because your brother did something, and you are sponging off of your brother.
Wait,
and this is America, and you have the right to sponge off your brother. Am I correct? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, his career seems to be, I'm sorry to say, in the decline. And, well, hell, you're at the IX Center.
No
You're
one's
going
asking
up.
him to do the Home and Flower Show stuff, things. Dang it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how long are you going to be at the IX Center?
I'll be there until Tuesday.
Well, I don't know what else to say other than, where were you living right now? Are you a Hollywood resident, or are you living in Northeast
No, I'm living in
Ohio?
Iowa, in the suburbs. I'm living right next to Adam West.
Adam West, the original Batman, as it
Hey, do
were.
you guys know the Deliverance theme by any chance?
Can we play some country music for our guest? That was nice.
I wrote that, by the way, you know.
Good song.
Damn it, I don't want... I want to believe him. I want to believe him because it would take a lot of guts to come up here on this stage if he wasn't Burt Reynolds' identical twin
I really have
brother.
nothing to hide. I don't.
Isn't it beautiful that in this country, in this land of the free and home of the brave, we have the ability to sponge off our relatives and make a decent living at it. I want to have a round of applause right now for Larry Reynolds, my good friend. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks for the limo. It's been a while.
Take care. A little outro music, please.
1, 2, 3.
We'll be back after this break. This is the Literary Talk Show.
Hello? I'd like to give the Browns a lot of money. Please?
Well, that's all for now. You have yourself a great night. Bye-bye.
This has been the Literary Cafe Talk Show. Wishing you a good evening. Stay tuned next for the community.